guys, I couldn't play favourites, so I do have to make a matching page for Miss Melly here, and this time I'm using the Cat's Life stamp from Kelly Stamps. So again, I've used this page protector because I'm filling in the back of one of those spaces that was missing that I found in my walkthrough. So I have printed out another large photo and I'm just trimming that down to fit into the left side of this page protector. Ideally, I wouldn't normally trim a photo so that it sort of trims through the face area of any subject, animal or person, but I didn't really have a lot of choice with this photo. I really wanted to use it and that just happened to be where it's split. So unfortunately for Melly, that's where it's going to be. I've also got two little square ones, so again I'm making this quite similar to the other layout. It's just slightly different because of the format of the page protector. So instead of 4 little photos, she's got 2. And I'm going to do the same sort of repeat stamping that I did for Lily's page as well. So I'm just choosing out some stamps at the moment. Stamps that I'm going to stamp on the cards this time rather than the photos, and the I Heart My Cat that I'm going to stamp on the background. I'm only going to stamp that on the 2 3x4 cards in the middle, so on the other 2 I'm just picking out this pattern paper, Maggie Holmes crepe paper. Decided to go with just the pink rather than the pink and blue stripe because Melly's a girl and I love pink, so that's what we're going with. So I've cut those down to 4x6 and then I'm just lining up my stamps on my stamp block for I Heart My Cat, and I'm going to stamp it in pink. I just wasn't quite sure which pink, so I was just testing that on some scrap paper first, and I'm going to go through the exact same process. So I've put my stamp on an angle on the block, which wasn't quite in the right place, and then have just stamped my block all over my cards, because again I'm using these sort of scrap rounded 4x6 cards that I'm going to trim down to 3x4. So then I'm just trimming out sort of the best parts of my stamping in there. And that is my 2 little 3x4 cards, which can now have their photos attached to them. And I am going to stamp a sentiment on there as well, the same that I did for Lily's layout, except this time I'm not putting them on the photos, I'm going to stamp them on the cards. So my concern with stamping them on the cards was how visible that was going to be over that stamping. I'm going to stamp in black, but I just wanted to make sure before I went ahead and did that it was going to show up. So I had this spare card that I had mucked up the repeat stamping on, and so it actually worked out well because it gave me a scrap piece to test, and actually they show up fine, so much better than I thought they would. So I'm really pleased to go ahead and just stamp those straight on. I am using the VersaFine Onyx Black ink on this just because I wanted a really crisp impression. So I've got my 2 cards and they're going to go in those 2 little pockets. Just tested the ink, and because sometimes that VersaFine ink does take a little bit longer to dry, but that one seemed fine almost straight away, so that was good. And I didn't really know what to put for a title on here, so I literally am just going to put her name. I've got these really huge black alphas from the Stamp Spot, and I am just going to add them in. Melly Cat is her name. I guess more of a nickname than anything else, but that's what we call her. And so I'm just adding Melly to the top card and Cat to the bottom. I am starting in the middle of each card so that I can get the letters roughly spaced out properly. Cat now looks a little bit funny to me, but I guess that happens. Actually, so does Melly. So in the end, I thought I did an okay job, but now looking back at it on the video, but as you all know, I'm just going to live with it. So a really simple page, but at least now I've got both my little fur babies in my album. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!